Hey guys, Jonah here, back for another beer review. This one's slightly different, although it is from the Balkans Ferment edition, and I'm putting that down because there's nothing ever in the magazine. And in this case, I checked, and there is nothing about this beer or brewery. However, it is another one brewed by those Croatian devils. It doesn't say it on here, but it does say it in the back here. Boom, boom, boom. Where does it say? Here we go. Made at the Garden Brewery. But anyway, this is a dry hopped lager. This actually used to be a thing a few years ago. I haven't seen that many of them. And the brewery is called Hvar. And it's crisp, tropical, fresh, apparently 6.2% on the ABV. And from what I can gather, it has Eclipse hops in it, which is one of those hop varieties from Australia. But the Beer 52 website is still gone for a Burton, because when you click on where all the information for the Balkans box is, he says, as he just dribbles a little bit on his trousers, and it takes you to the Italy. So they've redone. Someone, oh, banged that on the wall. Someone has messed up, and no one has noticed. And I can't be bothered in telling them about their appalling quality control. But they should know, because I say it every so often. Glass, glass, beer, beer, glass, glass, beer. There we go. And it's a lager in it. So I don't have any information really, apart from kind of the hops, which I found out through the wonders of Untapped. And if you want to join me on Untapped, my link is in the in the description down below. Please feel free. That is where every single beer that I ever have is, unless I get really drunk, or if I'm beer judging and sometimes I don't actually know the names of the beers, or if I'm really hammered, I can't remember. Sometimes I lose a beer or two, but the majority of them are on Untapped. So, reasonably clear beer. You can see me wiggling. You can see kind of a bit through there. It is a bit of haze because it's been in the fridge for a couple of days. But, yeah, like I say, there is a bit of a haze to this beer. It is not perfectly clear. But we shall see what we get. Very similar to the garden beer I had the other day, which was from Asda. It's got a little touch of kind of, it's tropical, but it's got a touch of melon or something light. Going to be interesting to try this one. And a light lager, a hop lager. Cheers and beers, dear viewer. Oh, yeah, really nice. Quite sweet actually for a lager. Lagers, even some of the Bohemian ones, like or some of the German ones, in fact, which are a little bit malty, come across a little bit sweeter. Obviously, this could be a Bohemian lager, being as it's a Croatian beer. But yeah, that hopping, and it says it's a dry. I think it said dry hopped, didn't it? Yes, dry hopped lager. So it's going to have some bitterness hops in there, and then it's going to be dry hop, but maybe not that much so. Maybe that's why it's a little bit cloudy as well, a little bit hazy. I shouldn't say cloudy because it isn't cloudy at all. Ooh, wow, quite carbonated. Although it is it's more of a Bohemian Pils type style. it's not. It's got quite a good carbonation, but it's not super over carbonated, which some beers can be. Lagers sometimes, but not always lagers. Some other beers can be like that too. Um, yeah, fruitiness is it's way in the background. So I would understand that maybe they've only dry hopped it late on in the lagering process, and probably not for long. Because if you dry hop at a chilled temperature, you don't have to do it so long. Maybe a few days. I wouldn't be surprised if it's under a week that they dry hop it for. Maybe even less, because it is quite a light beer. Oh, yeah, pardon me. The bitterness is a bit of a limey, like a Mexican type lager. But then the kind of maybe now I'm getting a little bit of pear, that kind of pear thing. It's not apple, it's yeah, it's kind of a bit more fruity. So a pear, but very, very light. So a light pear, maybe a touch of melon. Um, yeah, it's definitely on the kind of green or yellow side of the spectrum. If I'm trying to describe my taste as in a color, it's not a kind of orangey citrusy thing. It's not that at all. It's more of a green, more of a yellow, not quite a white either. So although it's high notes, it's more the fact of it being quite light and not heavy tasting. So like I say, they haven't over dry hopped this bad boy. But you probably wouldn't for a lager anyway. It's really pleasant. Lager isn't really my thing, to be perfectly honest. Although I say that when I'm having a meal or something like that, I'll definitely have something lighter. Sometimes I'll have Guinness because although it's really dark, it's actually quite light. It's 4.1, I think, currently, percent wise. So this being a 4.2% beer sits kind of nicely there. I don't want a real thick, heavy pint of dishwater beer when I'm trying to eat food as well. And I'm one of those kind of weird people that finds it difficult to eat and drink at the same time. Not exactly the same time, but what I'll do, I'll order my beer because they always come and ask for drinks beforehand. I'll drink my beer like I am doing now. And then if there's any in the glass, when the food arrives, I'll put said glass on the table. Then I'll eat my food. Then I'll go back to drinking the beer. I can't have one spoonful or one forkful of food and then a sip of a beer. I can't. I don't know why. It's me, dear viewer. It is not you. But I can't seem to have, um, yeah, alcohol. Even wine, I can't do with wine. And I don't drink wine that regularly. Yeah. Oh, I tell you what. Looking at the map, as I have done in the old front of the magazine, I think a trip out to Croatia, Serbia, round those era parts. The Yugo stroke Czech Republic old places. Big towns like Zagreb, for example. Um, yeah, I think it'd be really nice to go and do a beer trip around some of the breweries there because there's some fantastic beers. Garden Brewery, yes, I've said before that perhaps with the collaborations they do for Beer 52, they back down a little bit on the kind of raw ingredients, so they can make the most money, and also so Beer 52 can make the most money. But their own beers, their own examples, really, really good. And I do have some more. Um, I've got one over here that I'm going to drink tomorrow. Um, Setting things up. But I thought, while there's a link, and obviously all of these beers, I am actually pretty sure that every single beer in this box has been made at the Garden Brewery. But I also picked up those other beers at Asda, so I've got a fair few Garden Brewery beers to try. Oh, that's really nice. Actually, I think there might be an Austrian beer, which isn't technically in the Balkans, if you understand, the region, but I don't think that's by the Garden Brewery. But we shall see. We shall see. Now, have a look at that. This is what I was saying yesterday. This is a lager, and look at the amount of lacing. Absolutely fantastic. And on the back, we've got some definite vertical kind of weird, crazy sort of runes going on. And then as we go back, we've definitely got the tide lines of this beer, which is what I really, really like to see in beer. And for some reason, um, beers that use oats and things, which you would have thought would help with the retention of head and creation of lacing and stuff. There's the dry hop to lager by Hvar via the Garden Brewery. Very good beer. I like that one. Um, yeah, sometimes when they back off and they add more water, they dilute things down a bit too much, and then you don't get so much lacing. Anyway, that is my review, dear viewer, of this beer, Hvar Brewery. And I will rack up another. It's gonna be Garden Brewery all the way for the next few days, I think. But those beer reviews are gonna come up, and they're gonna come up real soon.